Welcome on into The Verdict. I'm your host, Sean Grace from Fedkiw, and today we got a special guest all the way from Yardley, PA. That's right, he does a great job covering the Philadelphia Eagles for PhillyInfluencer.com, the one, the only Mr. Adrian Fedkiw. How you doing, Adrian?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Really excited for today's show.
Yes, man. I got some different ideas going, but all along I wanted to get The Verdict going Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Tom Brown will be back on Friday. We got some things going. Got some guests in the works. Dave Uram from WIP is going to be hopping on. Looking forward to that. He's a very opinionated guy, and so are you. So I figured, you know what? Let's get you on today's taping because you know what? The Eagles are 3-0. We got the bye week, Adrian, and that's where we start. Question number one on today's verdict. Look, I mean, it's just an amazing start for the Eagles. 34-3 over the Steelers. Nobody guessed that would have happened. The Bears and the Browns, all that. But we got a long way to go. There's 13 games left in the season. NFC East, we haven't played a team yet. But 3-0, what are we talking about with the Eagles? What's the finish line looking like right now?
This is insane right now.
It is.
Totally unpredictable. 3-0, outscoring opponents 92-25. It's insane. 92-27. Plus 65. That is insane. It's higher than the Patriots. They've doubled the Patriots.
Wow.
You got Doug Peterson out here, coaching like Bill Belichick. You got Carson Wentz out there playing like Peyton Manning, making audibles at the line of scrimmage.
Here we go.
This defense is balling right now. Jim Schwartz has his boys balling. 7 points allowed per game. We're talking about a new scheme, a new coach, a complete overhaul of this team. This is supposed to take time. It's supposed to take weeks to mesh, and we're not seeing that right now. This team is absolutely on fire, and this is like the worst bye week ever because it's completely halting all the momentum.
Yeah, I wish it was in the middle of the season. That's the way where I like the bye weeks, week 7, week 8. And I think if you were to ask teams across the league, that's what they would say. But hey, you got to deal with what the schedule says. So here they are. I'm all right with it. But bottom line is this: what's the future hold for the Eagles? I am not sure, and I don't think anybody can look into the crystal ball and tell me exactly how this is going to play out. I know the diehards out there are going to tell me that the Eagles are the best team in this division. That may be right now at the end of September, but guess what? The playoffs don't kick in until what? The end of December, January. I think we have a game on New Year's Day, I believe. So look, we got a long way to go until the playoffs happen. But when you start the season off 3-0. Good things are going to happen for you. So here's another thing I want to say, and we'll move on. Mm-hmm. I feel like this team is good enough, and with the coaching and all that if they were to have that one injury, even if it's Carson Wentz, or even if it's knock on wood that this doesn't happen, don't get me wrong, but like Fletcher Cox, if one of those guys were to go down, I still feel like the Eagles would be in the running for this division. And oh, by the way, it helps when you start off 3-0 because of that.
Oh, absolutely. And I will say this: Carson Wentz, best quarterback in the division right now.
There's no arguing that.
Absolutely.
No arguing.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
Now, before we move on, there's still things that need to be ironed out before we properly evaluate this team because we have yet to see them not play well. And there is an art to winning games when you don't play well. And we might get our first test coming out of the bye week at Detroit. That's got a trap game written all over it.
Sure. So
is this a game where, maybe the defense kind of hangs around and Carson Wentz doesn't really play well? Can he pull it off in the fourth quarter? So these are the things that I'm still looking for from this team. It's, you mentioned like, hey, what to expect? I don't know what to expect. Yeah. This 3-0 start has been completely unexpected. So, I do think they're the best team in the division. They have the best quarterback in the division. But how far can this team really go? I don't really know. Right now, I'm still going to pencil them in, maybe 10-6.
Okay.
6-ish. Yeah. But I'm not going anything over that.
No, I can't. I'll stay there with you as well. Yeah. There's going to be a rough stretch. There's going to be turbulence. Yeah. Carson Wentz is going to throw a pick 6. He's going to have a 2-interception game. It's just going to happen.
Yeah, there's a crazy 7-game stretch coming up, and the last 3 games of that stretch at Seattle, Green Bay at home on Monday night, at Cincinnati.
Ooh, okay.
So that's when we're really going to find out even about Carson Wentz and just how good he is.
That's fair.
And that brings us to this. All right, Sean. Carson Wentz named NFC Offensive Player of the Week. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions so far. can he sustain this level of success? It is unbelievable.
It is. Look, I think I go back to this. There's no defense for the perfect pass. And right now, Carson Wentz is doing exactly that. Now, I think Doug Peterson deserves a ton of credit with his offensive play calling, his system. He seems to be dialing up the right screens. He's working, the right channels. He's got everybody believing. It's going to be tough to see what happens when Lane Johnson falls out of the mix for 10 games. We'll see how that plays out. But bottom line is, I think Carson Wentz, right now, the game is moving so slow for him, and a lot has to do with Doug Peterson, but Carson is just out there, and he's able to pick apart the defenses pre-read, and if they are showing him something that he's not expecting, like I said, the game is just moving so slow for him that he's able to find the open man, and like I said from the start, there's no defense for the perfect pass. Go back to that first week of the season versus the Browns with Jordan Matthews on the cross, linebacker underneath, safety over the top, and he just threw it up, and it was in the perfect spot. I mean, it's just amazing. We haven't seen passes like this since 03-04 with McNabb. Damn right I said that. Yeah. And Carson Wentz is just incredible right now. There's nothing else I can say. But as far as what will the future hold, like I said, he's going to experience turbulence. Yeah. There's going to be defenses that get in his grill. Lane Johnson, losing him for 10 games is a huge, huge loss. Mm-hmm. So what's going to happen when that plays out? That's what I'm looking forward to see.
I'm looking forward to step drops.
Yeah. Well, and that's working for him right now.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm looking forward to a lot of this. I think Carson Wentz is outstanding so far in these first 3 games. Obviously, offense won the award today, but we got a long way to go.
Yeah. Now, I know everybody was saying, it's just the Browns and it's just the Bears, those first 2 games. But here's what was so impressive about those 2 performances. See, he's a defensive coordinator in Ray Horton week 1. Likes to bring the blitz, likes to bring the pressure from all different angles. He goes 8 for 8 against the blitz. Unbelievable. Yep. Week 2, Vic Fangio.
Vic Fangio!
All right, so here's what he did against Fangio. This guy likes to disguise coverages. Mm-hmm. He goes out and he kills it again. 2 different defenses, 2 different philosophies. And you made the point, too. I mean, these balls, these aren't dimes, they're quarters. Perfectly placed.
No, yeah, great.
Quarter, and they got North Dakota on the back of those quarters, too.
How about that?
Yeah.
He's stupid. I love it. No, I mean, Carson Wentz is just outstanding right now, and it's a fun ride to enjoy. I think that's the big picture we need to look at as Eagles fans and just say, walk into every week going, dude, we got a chance to win. The future is bright. Let's just enjoy the moment.
Yeah. Do not set your expectations too high.
Not right now.
Just enjoy the moment. And I'll tell you what, this is very, very encouraging for the next, 10 years, basically. This team, I mean, I don't want to throw the word dynasty out there yet, but they're showing some signs, some very, very encouraging signs that maybe they can win 1 championship.
Bill Belichick, Peyton Manning, dynasty.
All right, first of all,
he is a little under the weather.
First of all, yeah, I am.
He is a little under the weather. All right, moving on. Let's talk. We're going to mix it up because you do a great job of covering everything for us at PhillyOcean.com, but your specialty is the Eagles. Make sure you go check out those recaps. Top notch, some of the best out there. Let's talk a little bit about 76ers. And this is interesting because it happened on Monday. 76ers had their media day. First time all summer in New Orleans. Noel spoke to the media, and he voiced his displeasure with the organization not making a move over the summer. And he said, quote, it doesn't make any sense having all of us on the roster, unquote. And, he's speaking about Joel Embiid, he's speaking about Jahlil Okafor, and he's speaking about himself, all 3 centers on the roster, plus we can even throw Dario Saric into the mix, a ton of bigs. What are the Sixers going to do? My question to you, Adrian Fedkiw, is, was it a mistake for the 76ers to bring in all 3 big men at the beginning of training camp?
No, it was not a mistake. Not at all, because you don't want to be desperate. Desperation is not a word you want to be associated with as a general manager. And, obviously there's an influx of bigs right now with this team, but it's better off to remain patient and wait until the trade deadline. Because what's going to happen is this. Players are going to get hurt. There's going to be needs, and teams are going to overpay. We just saw this in the NFL. Here in Philadelphia, we just saw it. Teddy Bridgewater got hurt.
True.
We traded Sam Bradford. We got a first-round pick back, and the projection for him was a second-round pick, possibly at the end of the year. So you not only get the first, you get the fourth as well. So right now, just pump the brakes, relax, let the season play itself out. You can also work some lineups around, experiment with maybe Noel and Sharch, because I think that's a good pair to have on the floor together, because Sharch can't really defend the perimeter. Noel's a lot more quick-footed. He can guard your stretch forward. So I would keep Noel around for now. I would just chill and just relax.
Yeah, Dario Saric, shout out to him. He was a Manion over the weekend. How about that?
Oh.
The sights.
He was dancing too.
Yeah, he was. Look,
dancing.
Yeah, for Nerlens, I understand Nerlens. I understand why he'd be upset, because guess what? His agent's connected. His name's been tossed around there. There's definitely truth behind all those rumors. The 76ers are trying to move a big. The right deal didn't present itself. Now, this is what I would tell Nerlens. Just because you feel like your name was tossed out there, number one, all summer long, and maybe your agent was telling you that doesn't mean you can't play yourself onto this squad, in my opinion. Yep. So you go into this training camp, and I realize he's a professional athlete. He's not happy right now. He's going to voice his opinion when the first time he has an opportunity to. But I feel like Nerlens will be a good soldier next week or the week after that, and he'll fall into the groove. I mean, we've heard athletes be upset at times. We understand it. They're human beings as well. But that doesn't mean Nerlens can't play himself onto this roster, no matter what. I feel like Brian Colangelo is going to allow us to play out for some time. I don't think there's going to be a move before the season starts, but I could be wrong on that. We'll see how things play out in preseason. Again, injuries happen in preseason, so who knows? Maybe a team comes calling then. But Nerlens could play himself onto this squad. Ja, he gets out there on the floor, and all of a sudden the mix, the chemistry looks a lot better with Nerlens out there. His defensive numbers take another step in the right direction. His numbers are already pretty damn good. You understand what I'm trying to say. So it's not over for Nerlens Noel in the 76ers uniform. That's what I would tell him. Go out there, bust your ass, play hard, and who knows what will happen. Brian Colangelo, I think he wants to move Nerlens and hang on to Ja, but I don't think that's a lock just yet.
Yeah. If there was one rumor that I might have potentially been interested in over the summer, Noel straight up for Avery Bradley. That's a trade I would have considered, because obviously this team kind of needs a point guard. Well, not necessarily point guard, but they need guards on this team.
Definitely.
And Avery Bradley's a guy that he's going to guard your team's opposing point guard. He can shoot the corner three, which works for the Ben Simmons drive and kick game. So Bradley's a guy I'm very high on. I like his defensive ability. So I think he could have worked well on this team. He can also finish on the break too, so run up and down the floor a little bit.
Season's almost here. I got season tickets this year. I can't wait.
That is awesome.
Looking forward to
it. I'll be going down with my friend with season tickets too.
Be there.
Yeah.
Rocking out.
We'll be chilling. All right. Yo, so, we just talked about Noel. Now some really, really sad and unfortunate news.
Tough one.
Over the weekend with the passing of Jose Fernandez. Game between the Mets and Marlins was canceled on Sunday. An amazing tribute on Monday, and D. Gordon hits a home run. Just unbelievable. Do you think this was one of the greatest sporting events of the year?
Absolutely. No question. Year, lifetime, whatever. Sunday I was driving down to the Eagles game, and I'm in my car, and I don't know why, but I was just like, it hit me. I know why, because he passed away. But again, I wasn't our player or anything like that. I watched a little bit of the Marlins play, but, I knew he was a great talent. But the first thing that went through my mind is just how young he was. And that was crushing.
Oh, man.
And then the second thing was how good he is. And then the Marlins, this guy was on his way to make a $200 million contract. He was, you look at Giancarlo Stanton and him, those two together were nice pieces to build around. It was just tough. It was a tough piece of news. But that game, D. Gordon stepping into the plate. Obviously, you had the pregame festivities. The Mets, they're all choked up. Everybody choked up across the league. But D. Gordon grabbing the helmet, Jose Fernandez's helmet, stepping into the batter's box, taking a pitch, and then getting over into his batter's box, and then hits a home run, a moonshot. And I was like, oh my God. And then the announcer goes, that's D. Gordon's first of the year, and that was it. Travis d'Arnaud, the catcher for the Mets, was shedding tears. I was definitely choked up. A moment of the year, you think about players that were lost in their prime. You got Jerome Brown, you got Len Bias. Yeah. This is up there. Jose Fernandez was an amazing talent. So a moment of the year, a moment I'll never forget.
It's not far-fetched to say that he could have been a potential Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
24 years old, a sub-2.5 ERA at 24. He didn't even hit his prime yet, and he was doing this. The bite on his breaking pitches was extraordinary. The slider, the curveball that he threw. I'm gutted by this too, man, because he's so fun to watch.
Yep.
He throws and he pitches with so much passion out there. And this is terrible.
Tough one.
Terrible.
Yeah, tough one. Tough one to swallow, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, fifth and final question, moving on as we make the smooth transition from, passing the Jose Fernandez to UFC. But, hey, Conor McGregor and Eddie Alvarez last night, UFC 205, shout out to Dana White and the whole UFC crew, finally got New York to allow UFC, Madison Square Garden. It's going to be crazy. It's in November. I can't wait for it. But last night, press conference, Conor McGregor taking on the Philly guy, Eddie Alvarez. I understand we all need to root for Eddie on this one, but I love me some Conor McGregor. It's about being entertained. And for me, the price of admission, this dude running his yap, and he hasn't said anything new in the last 4 or 5 press conferences, but he is can't miss television. Price of admission for you, Adrian Fedkiw, past or present, team or player, who you got?
Yeah, this might be a little bit interesting, but I'm going with Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
The 17th at Sawgrass, just planting my bottom right there in the bleachers and waiting for Tiger to hit the tee. And
that's a great hold to park it at.
Yeah. So you're basically waiting there for 3 hours just to see Tiger for 15 minutes.
Well, I've never been able to see Tiger live. I know he's still going to play. He's got the Champions League tour that he'll be joining, I'm sure. But I had an opportunity, and I just moved up to Pennsylvania back in 03 or 02 it was, at Pinehurst, where he won the U.S. Open. So I wish I was able to go check him out there. Yeah. But you're right. Can't miss television. Worth the price of admission. Tiger Woods has to be up there.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor, Eddie Alvarez, UFC 205, Madison Square Garden. Looking forward to that. Also looking forward to the verdict on Friday. Adrian had a blast with you, my friend. Good stuff as always. Make sure you check out his content at PhillyAmateur.com. Does a great job. I'm telling you right now, I'll put his work up against anybody that covers the Eagles in our area at PhillyAmateur.com. Lots of videos, lots of GIFs. Great breakdown. This man's up till 4 o'clock in the morning watching TV. I love it. Gotta love it. So please check it out at PhillyAmateur.com.
They go to Temple. I'm a night owl.
There it is. Oh, they like that.
There it is.
And check him out on YouTube as well, The Bitter Birds. He's now doing a video with EDP.
Every Monday, EDP and I taking over YouTube, baby.
Are you serious?
That's EDP.
Good stuff. Hey, until Friday, everybody have a great day. Check out PhillyAmateur.com.